Today our topic is work and energy. So in everyday life, when we read or when we eat, we say that we are doing work. But in physics, the definition of work is totally different from everyday life. In physics, when the force moves something, work is done. It means, for example, this is an object. When the force is applied on this object, this is a force. When the force is applied on this object and the object move from one position to another, we can say that work is done. It means this time the object has covered some distance. 1 meter, for example, if 1 meter, 2 meter, if the object if the object covers some distance by the force, we can say that work is done. It means for the work in physics, the distance is very necessary to cover and the force is to apply. When the force moves something, work is done. It means when an object cover distance by the force, we can say that work is done. So this time the energy is changed into different forms. For example, when the object is at a position, this time the object possesses potential energy. When the object moves from this position to this position, the energy has been changed to kinetic. When the object moves from this position to during the motion, the potential energy has been changed to kinetic energy. Therefore, we can say that energy is changed into different forms when the work is done. It means when the work is done, energy is changed from one form to another form. So the greater will be the force and the greater will be the distance. For example, if we apply 1 Newton force here, now the distance will be 1 meter. If we apply 2 meter distance, the 2 meter force, 2 Newton force, the distance will be 2 meter. So the greater will be the force, the greater will be the distance moved. So more work is done. It means if the force is increased, so the distance will also be increased, and the more work is done, the amount of work is also increased. So mathematically, we can say that work is equal to force cross distance. If we multiply the force with the distance, so the work is done. So W means work equal to force cross distance. Now we will define 1 joule of work. The unit of the work is joule. It means that force is made in Newton and time and distance is made in meter. So this time the work is made in a joule. So 1 joule of work is done when a force of 1 Newton move the object through the distance of 1 meter. It means if the force is 1 Newton and the distance will be 1 meter. If the force is 1 Newton and distance will be 1 meter, so the work will be 1 joule. It means 1 joule of work is done when the force of 1 Newton moves the object through a distance of 1 meter. If the object cover 1 meter distance by the force of 1 Newton, then the work will be 1 joule. So the unit of work is a joule. Now we will define the energy. Energy things have energy if they are able to do work. It means this time the object has done work. Why? Because the object has covered 1 meter distance by 1 Newton force. This time the work has been done. If the work has been done, this time the object has energy. Why? Because the object is able to do work. Whenever the object is able to do work, it means whenever the object cover a distance by the force, this time work is done. So the object has energy. Without energy, the object cannot do work. As we know that everything need energy to do some work. So therefore, here will be here will also be energy in this object. Why? Because this object cover distance by the force and the work is done. Whenever the work is done, so the object has energy. So energy is totally related to work. It means if the body do work, then the object has energy. So energy is related to work. Therefore energy can also be measured in joule. The unit of energy will be joule. Why? Because if the work is present, this time energy will also be present, but the energy during the work, the energy will be changed from one form to another. So these are all about work and energy, and this is the relation of work and energy.